It says we are live, guys. So I am going to assume that that is the case.
Be right
I'm
back.
about to, all right. I'm about to check the feed, guys. So you might hear some double audio really quick. But I'm just gonna grab the stream. I'm gonna grab the stream and make sure it's playing. Grab it here on my PC. So momentarily, well, actually, I can't. I can't mute the browser because we're streaming through the browser. Courtesy of Streamlabs. But excuse me, StreamYard. Give me a second, guys. So if you're seeing this and hearing this, then bear with me. I just want to make sure everything is playing correctly. I believe it is, but I don't assume anything. I confirm. And there it is. So there we are. We are live. We have a few viewers already. So I'm going to say hello to you guys and hello to everyone else who will come in later. And hello to those who will watch this on the rebound. Whether you're here live or not, you're still rocking with us. So we appreciate that. But how's everybody doing, man? Tonight, what we're going to talk about, as you guys probably see there in the title, and let me go read my own notes here as I look at the computer. We're really just going to talk about, man, MLB The Show, their franchise mode. Those details will kind of give a discussion if we get to it. The reason why I say if we get to it, because if you remember last week, Smitty and I said what we would probably do is when these trailers come out or this news come out for both ESBC, that's number one, and then MLB The Show, we said we would do it live on air. We have both to talk about tonight, but I think we're going to start with ESBC. That is going to be the headliner. That's why it's first in the title. We want to talk about this new sports game, boxing game, sports game, if you will. We got to talk about it. And what we're going to do is we're going to let that entire trailer play. For those of you, may have seen it, may have not seen it. We're going to play the audio of it. We'll pause it here and there. We'll talk about certain aspects. So we'll do kind of a live breakdown of it. Shout outs to guys like Boxing Fanatico, man. If he happens to stumble across this video, excellent breakdown. He did 30 plus minute video breaking down each and every aspect. That's why I told you guys in my video, I wasn't going to do that because I know he would, right? And I wanted to give myself a little more time to review the trailer before I dove in. So it's going to be great for me and Smitty to talk about that tonight. And like I said, we'll also possibly get to MLB The Show. And I say possibly because it all depends on how much time we spend on ESBC, right? So if we don't get to MLB The Show tonight, we'll carry it over to next week. But our plans are to get through both. It's very interesting with MLB because neither one of us have actually watched that footage from the day yet. So that's going to take a lot longer. So that's why I say bear with us, man. We're going to try to get to it if we can, but we really want to highlight Esports Boxing Club. So let's not waste any time, man. You know how we always do. Smitty, I'm going to throw it to you, man. Ask how was your week? How's everything going? Anything you want to talk about? Basketball, the Lions, baseball, as you guys can see. Got my Pirates hat on tonight in honor of opening day in the baseball season. So whatever you got, man, before we dive into this ESBC gameplay. You on mute?
Yeah, I'm on mute. Yeah, there we go. Man, I mean, nothing really spectacular jumping off right now. As far as Pistons or Lions talk or anything like that. Opening day, I don't know if the Tigers won the game or not, but I will say, hey, I got to give props to Miggy. It was snowing pretty tough. And my man was able to see that thing and knock it out the park. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
So that's nice. And I mean, it's expected for the Tigers, at least, especially around this time of the year. It's not as much of a shock, especially considering it's been nice weather for like the past 4 days. And now, the Tigers won. Okay, bet. Because I was tuned into it earlier, but then I missed the rest of the game. But to see him hitting that home run like that, and the pitchers were looking nice. And see, once again, they're a team. They are a team that's in rebuild mode as well. You know what I'm saying? So they still gotta get, they're still building. They're not necessarily spending money like that to get like the best marquee players and all that. It's like they're farming, working through the system, making small signings here and there, but they want to see how their draft picks. Yeah, I know, right? Exactly, Sean. But they want to see what these guys are going to be able to do. So it's going to be interesting, just like how it is with the Pistons. Even though the Pistons are losing and everything, I still find it very interesting to see how these guys are playing, how they're competing. Like they're competitive. You're seeing more and more out of these younger guys. And before you know it, these guys can be some legitimate players that'll be part of this team. So, we got to wait and see what comes with that. But I mean, as far as Lions is concerned, I mean, I will say this, man, the Dolphins, and I mean, who was it? The Dolphins and the Eagles, or was it the Dolphins that made all the moves?
It was
the draft picks.
Dolphins, Eagles, and who else?
And the Niners.
I know the Niners in there.
Yeah, no, I think the Niners moved up, and then the Eagles moved up, I think, or they went back.
Let me see. The draft order probably is up there now. Let me take a look. One of them moved, and then they moved back up. I can't remember who was who.
Yeah,
because one of them initiated, traded out, and then they ended up coming back. But I don't know if that was the Eagles or the not. I just know them three teams were involved some kind of way.
Okay.
I don't remember the whole thing. Let me see if I can find the draft order.
I don't remember the exact thing, but I mean, that was wild news. Like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, these guys are moving. Oh, so the Niners picked third. Okay. Niners got that third pick, so they moved up. Oh, yeah, that's why people are still speculating the whole is Jimmy G done, basically. Like, they're getting the next guy. So, see, with all this movement, okay. So they traded with the Dolphins, and then the Dolphins traded back up.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the deal they made with I would assume that's the deal they made with the Eagles, so they could get back up too. So I don't know, man. It makes it for what could be a very interesting draft night one in that early beginnings. I mean, who will be available for the Lions? You know what I'm saying? At that number 7 spot, and will whatchamacallit, what's the name of the team? The Panthers or the Broncos try to move up. You know what I'm saying? And try to get that number 7 pick, because they do have some urgent needs that they definitely need to fulfill. So who knows? You know what I mean?
Y'all might still be all right though. Let me see. If we were predicting it now, Trevor Lawrence is going to the Jags.
Mm-hmm.
My man Taylor might be going to if the Jets draft a quarterback, I think it's going to be Zach Taylor.
Okay.
So he might be gone. At 3, if the Niners take a quarterback, is it Fields?
That's what's being assumed. It's assumed that it's going to be the first 4 picks are going to be those marquee QBs, especially with this lineup, with this switch up, this push of the picks. All of a sudden, that happened.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think, man. Fields, Trey Lance, Mac Jones. I think guys like Trask, Jamie Newman, those type of dudes are definitely gonna. They might not even be first rounders. So I'm trying to think who would the Niners, looking at that offense that Shanahan runs. I could see a guy like Fields, maybe even a Trey Lance working in that situation. So then Mac Jones. So I'm trying to think about looking at the teams. I think y'all could probably still be all right, because if let's say the first 3 takes quarterbacks. So then you get down to Atlanta. That's what
I'm saying. I kind of think they may go Q.
They might go
They
QB
may
too.
go
So then
QB. So they do that, then they all off the board.
could be
As far as
4
them
off the
two
board.
ones. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like,
Cincinnati not gonna draft one because they got Barrow.
Right. Yeah.
You wouldn't expect Miami to draft quarterback,
Right.
but they might. You never know. But I mean, I would expect them to still be rolling with Tua, and then y'all pick.
Yeah.
So out of it's at least, if you want to call Mac Jones a number one, I mean not number one, but a first round pick, Mac Jones might still be there. Trey Lance might still be there, but it just all depends on how do those teams view those quarterbacks. I clearly think that Lawrence is going to the Jags, but how does the Jets, the Niners, and the Falcons view those other guys? Like which one is their guy? You know what I mean? So
and at the same time, how do the Lions feel about Goff? See, people are the assumption is because they restructured his contract. Oh, we ain't sweating quarterback. Now we gonna ride with him. That's not necessarily the case though. Like if the pick is there, and not the pick, but if the player is available, do you go for that at that point? Or even that offensive tackle, that guy, what's the name? Sewell or whatever the guy's name is.
Oh yeah.
If he's available at that spot, then it's like, yes, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Take him. Absolutely. Number one.
Bad boy.
You know what I'm saying? That's your number one pick. Then you wait till next year. Or if there's someone in the second round, but the thing is, see, once again, this is all the whole thing with Detroit is the assumption that's being thrown around by the radio guys and everything of the world, and what the fan presumes is that we're going to have this absolutely horrendous season next year. We're just going to bottom out and barely win any games, assuming, and then come up next year and have a top pick, along with, and barring that the Rams don't do super duper well, then we'll be able to cash in on 2 number 1 picks. So, we'll see, and that's what I'm just saying. Like, we'll see what happens then, and that's, and that's the whole thing. Who is coming out next year to be like, oh, we can get that QB next year? Who's coming out next year that you just know is going to be that guy? You know what I'm saying?
A couple dudes. I've seen a couple, but I haven't really scouted that class yet. But I will say I'm early on Sam Howell from North Carolina. That boy's nice. The boy's nice. If he perform like again next year, he's definitely gonna be one of the, he's a little shorter though. I think he's only about 6 feet. And y'all know in the NFL and quarterback world that's considered short.
Yeah.
But he a bad boy though. I don't know, Smitty. I mean, I never read into these mocks. But
yeah, I mean, I ain't putting all the weight of the world in it, but
it could fall like this though. Looking at one of the later ones that came out on about 6 hours ago, Lawrence first. They got the Jets taking Zach Wilson, which I considered that probably would be, but then they got the Niners taking Mac Jones. They got the Falcons taking Kyle Pitts. Then the Bengals would take Penei Sewell, obviously, because they definitely need offensive line. Then they got the Dolphins taking Jamar Chase, which I could see them going receiver, perhaps running back. And then they got y'all taking Justin Fields. So it's possible that one of those guys will fall into your lap. But like you said, it does make you wonder, though. Let me take off my fan hat and put the businessman hat on, which I have to do often with the Steelers. We just invested in Goff. We got rid of, I don't want to say got rid of, because Matt Stafford was definitely a staple. Listen, I'm not even a Lions fan, but y'all say what you want about him. I think that dude was a cornerstone piece. I liked him. Yeah. Listen, I didn't watch him every week. I'm sure he had his ups and downs, but I really liked Matt Stafford. You get rid of Matt Stafford and you bring in Goff. Do you make that type of move just to say, well, this is going to be a guy that we're going to take into camp and let him I don't know. I think maybe they've gotten behind Goff. So maybe quarterback isn't where they go early. So who knows, man? It's interesting. It's going to be very interesting, man. The draft to me is always, first round is always the most intriguing part of the draft because there's always a shakeup. There's always a guy that nobody saw going first. And unfortunately, my Steelers have been on that end a couple years. You know, when we took Edmonds in the first round, I didn't see that coming. I thought Terrell Edmonds was more of a later round safety. And Artie Burns, we all know the story. Everyone knows that the Steelers were high on William Jackson. The Bengals swoop in and get him, and then we pick Artie Burns. So it's always something like that, Smitty, that's going to happen. One of these teams are going to pick a guy that none of us thought about in the first round, and then that causes everyone else to fall. So It's going to be interesting. Very interesting. I can't wait for it, man. But outside of that, man, one thing I will add is, you know, the Steelers are making some interesting moves. You know, they just signed Kalen Ballage. Some fans are cool with it. Some fans are not. But I still think they're going to go running back in this draft. I'm a little hesitant, though, Smitty, and I'll, you know, educate everyone else that, you know, that doesn't watch me do the Steelers thing. The way the Steelers usually operate, it's history always, well, not always, but for the most part, I'll say if out of 100, 90%, maybe 95% of the time, the first round pick comes from a pro day that either Mike Tomlin was at, Kevin Colbert was at, or most of the time, a good amount of the time, they're both there. If you pay attention to the pro days that they go to, a lot of times you can at least get the players in your head like, okay, these guys might be the picks. Doesn't necessarily mean what position. You know, you just look at those guys and say, okay, out of this pool of guys, one of those dudes are probably going to be your first round pick. It broke my heart that I found out, well, at least now nobody has spotted Tomlin and or Kevin Colbert at UNC's pro day. And the reason why I'm mentioning UNC is because I love that kid, Javonte Williams, at running back. Now, I don't prefer them taking a running back in the first round because that doesn't always get you anywhere. But most of us feel like they probably would do that. We know they like Najee Harris. We know they like Travis Etienne. But I love Javonte Williams. That dude, just his demeanor. But seeing that the Steelers only sent Eddie Faulkner, who was the running back coach, chances are they're not going to go Williams in the first round. So if you take him off the board, I'm very interested to see which way they're going to go now. I mean, we need a lot. You know, we need offensive line help. My Marquise Pouncey retired, so there's a center right there. We got a backup in BJ Finney, who we brought back. He probably will be able to start if we don't draft one. But offensive line is in play all up and down that line. Maybe not so much at guard because you got David DeCastro. You still can hold on to him for a few more years. He's getting a little older. You got Kevin Dotson, that rookie we drafted last year, who is a right guard but played some left guard. He's going to be a stud, I think. Well, then there's that left tackle position. Little Al Villanueva, as I call him, even though the dude is 6'9", and he's been playing like Little Al lately. Ain't been getting it done, and currently he's still a free agent. So, you know, who knows where we're going to go. But running back, offensive line, inside linebacker are all in play, I think, in the first round. So we'll wait and see who they go after. But other than that, I don't have too much more to say on that, guys. You know, we'll definitely wait till Smitty gets back here before we dive into it. Yeah, I did see that Steeler Nation, that Sean Davis is now a Indianapolis coach. I tip my hat and shake my hand to Sean Davis, man. You know, I wish these players well. You know, Sean Davis had already, you know, we had already let him go, and then he ended up going to Washington, and we brought him back. You know, I hope he can find his footing and find his way, man, because listen, unlike some fans, I don't never get down completely on these players. You know, we judge them accordingly as fans, but it is nothing personal. You know, I wish him well. I wished Artie Burns well, even though we know he didn't do much for us. So, but other than that, guys, is there anything else I can go into before Smitty and I dive into these topics? And again, what we're going to do tonight is we're going to play this trailer from Esports Boxing Club. That's the first thing we're going to do. And we're going to stop it. And, you know, we're going to pause it at times and have commentary. I think you guys will like that live breakdown, if you will, from us. And if we get to MLB The Show, we will. Let's just preface it with this. Smitty and I have not seen that. I do have it queued up here. It's about 40 minutes. It would take us a lot longer to get through that. So that's why we want to do the boxing game first. And, you know, I'll say this too before we even get to MLB The Show. I'm not a baseball guy. Yeah, I have a Pirates hat on, but, you know, you guys know I adopted the Pirates because of MLB The Show. I didn't really have a baseball team. So I said, you know what? 2 years ago, I said, I'm going to be a Pirates fan. I'm a Steelers fan. I'm a Sixers fan, even though they're in Philly. I might as well just keep it all Pittsburgh. I always liked the Penguins. There you go. So now I'm a Pirates fan, but don't ask me much about baseball. I don't know the ins and outs. So I say all that to say this. There's probably franchise stuff that is missing that we don't know about. So it's hard for me to say, you know what I mean? But we'll do our best to comment on what they are presenting. But without further ado, guys, let's get into this Esports Boxing Club. Give me a second and I will cue it up. And again, man, shout outs to Boxing Fanatico, man. If he happens to drop through or if he happens to hear this video, what a great job he did on his breakdown, man. What a great job. Let's see. Where am I? Oh, here we go. Share. And you guys will have to let us know that you can hear it once we play it. You should be able to, but you never know. Never want to assume, right? There we go. You guys can see it, correct? So let me put it in full screen. And let's let it rip. Let me turn it up.
It's Ash at Steel City Interactive.
Yep.
In this video, we're going to take you through the gameplay mechanics within ESBC.
We're going to be stopping quite often, guys. Just letting y'all know.
Final. You're still in alpha stages. And with your help and feedback, we'll continue to
not buffering well. That's the first thing I'm going to pause it and say. Smitty reminded you guys of this as well. The game is in alpha. And, you know, Smitty's more familiar with PC gaming than I am. He's, you know, open access, early access means that, you know, you just have access to play. The game is not finished. So I want everyone to keep that in mind as you judge or give feedback. The game is far from finished. Even when we get our early access, it still won't be a finished product.
Like, then I'll just say this before you continue on.
Yeah, go ahead.
The way that the game looked in that very first trailer that we saw, they could have put it out that way and then continuously progressively built on it, and it could be looking like the way it is in this trailer here. You see what I'm saying? Via feedback from the community and everything. That's what people do when they put it in early access. They pulled it down though because they didn't expect to get such a response. But the thing is that, you know, that's what early access is. It doesn't mean, you know, I know people are so amped up. They're like, oh, when it drops, yo, I hope it's on Xbox and all that. Like, it's not going to be finished, even when they do put it out. Because like Sim said, and like what they said, this is alpha. Nobody puts the game out in alpha state. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So
y'all should have seen some of them alpha Madden bills.
Oh, my God. So, oh my goodness. You know, OG know about that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like, so
gracious.
There's no way that an alpha build will usually come out. So it's like for this game to look good at the way it looks in alpha state is like wow. And that goes to show, if you've already seen the trailer, a lot of stuff they're gonna go through. They got a lot more work to do. And this game's they're not dropping this. At least the target area is summer. when they drop this now. So you
Need
know
that like yesterday.
Oh yeah. But go ahead, Sim.
This thing, man. All right, let's keep it moving. So really quick, guys, for you guys who haven't, seen it, I'm sure you all have, but you never want to assume. They address movement, corner system, back foot combat, career aspects, 4 directional punches, adrenaline, feints, 36 punch control, ring craft. Again, I always promote people who do great work. Make sure you check out Boxing Fanatico.
Yes.
30-minute breakdown of this, and he went into more detail, and he kind of told you guys that he's been able to contact certain people. So he's an information guy, right? And even the stuff that he's speculated about has come true. So I would strongly recommend you guys check him out. I'm going to give him that, promote him. Yeah, go ahead.
Also, I'm just going to say shout out to Antoine Hill for the $5 donation. I don't know if you said that already or not, but shout out to him. We appreciate that.
Shout out. Let me see if I can get your applause going.
Want to make sure we acknowledge and appreciate the contributions and everything. That's vastly, vastly appreciated.
Absolutely. All right, let's do it.
These are the items that we'll be covering in this video. Obviously, as the game progresses, we'll be dropping more development videos covering more aspects of the game.
What's up, Mo?
Things like referee, the clinch system.
Holy moly.
So items that aren't fully yet integrated, but this is a good starter for us to get into. So one of the standout features within ESBC is the movement system that we've developed. Here you can see David Adelaide getting himself out of danger by throwing a nicely timed.
Now the frames are skipping a little bit in the video.
ESBC.
But let's go back and look
the
at
movement
this right
system
here.
that we've developed.
Whew.
Check left hook, folks. It's a check hook. Think about Floyd Mayweather versus Ricky Hatton. Remember that?
One of the standout features within ESBC is the movement system that we've developed. Here you can see David Adelaide getting himself out of danger by throwing a nicely timed check hook. That in itself is a new feature.
All right, here we go.
Regards
Slow-mo.
to punch control. That means you have complete freedom in terms of your fighting strategy, fighting off the front foot, back foot.
I don't know why the video
and also
the frames is clipping like that, guys. My bad.
Check hooks using the pressure of your opponent to your advantage. So within these clips, you can see.
All right, look at that.
System in
look
action.
at that. And he's even saying it too.
Danger with check
but
hooks.
I'm going to pause it so you guys, and then after this segment, me and Smitty will chop it up about this. What the guy on the video is going to say is you're going to notice that the jabs, they don't all land in the same spot, right? And it's their physics system is crazy. We're going to get into that a little further, but notice where these jabs are landing. Some are going here, some are going there. Watch again.
The pressure of your opponent to your advantage. So within these clips, you can see the physics system in action.
Look at how he's moving. Look at his back.
Check hooks using.
Look at this.
The pressure with regards to the punch control.
Watch him.
That means you have complete freedom in terms of your fighting strategy, fighting off the front foot, back foot, and also pivoting yourself out of danger with check hooks.
Subtle. That's real movement,
the
folks.
pressure of your opponent to your advantage. So within these clips, you can see the physics system in action. Not every punch will be 100% accurate. Some punches will glance off arms, gloves.
Look at that. Look at that 3-4 piece jab
within
right there.
These clips, you can see the physics system in action. Not every punch will be 100% accurate. Some punches will glance off arms, gloves, chest, and you can kind of see that.
Hold on. Let me not get too antsy. Let's let him finish, and then we'll dive in. Come on, man.
With the jabs that have been thrown. Here you can see David fighting off his back foot, throwing a back foot jab and a back foot straight.
Fighting off of his back foot. Back foot jab and a back foot straight. Listen, you're talking to two guys here tonight that have been, at one time we were called EA fanboys. So if that was the case, we should be raving over Fight Night, right?
Right.
I'm sorry. I know everybody's opinion is different, Y'all ain't telling me that Fight Night, from seeing this game, it's doing stuff that Fight Night has never done, ever.
Nobody has done.
Nobody. Did y'all see the range of those jabs, even the low ones? What you got, Smitty, man?
Did you see? If you seen his stance while he was backing up too, this is just the subtlety of it. You see how he was a bit looser with the hand movement, with his hands, like, I got my hands up like this. But as he backed up toward the corner, he got tighter, tighter, tighter. Naturally, it's not like you holding the control or whatever. At least I'm assuming he's not holding the block button, but it's just like natural. He's backing up into a corner, and then he threw the, he threw the quick little jab, or he threw the check hook. Like, just let me say this too. This is just a general point. Axis football, I said this to Sim off air. Axis football, maximum football. We know their circumstances. They know their circumstances. But if you're going to come out, this how you got to come out. Like, flat out. This is how you have to deliver it. Okay? You may not have all the modes, you may not have all the depth and all that good stuff, but the bottom line is this how you got to come out. Like, look at this. Everything from how he's stepping into the punches. Look at how Hall is. His footwork, his movement style is different.
Even look at the little block that Hall's going to attempt to do with his left. Watch it. You'll see it in a minute. Look, like that little.
Yeah.
See, these are real movements, man.
Yeah,
this is real player movement.
They weren't lying with that revolutionary footwork system, because this is revolutionary. All right, man.
Actually, we can let this part play too.
Okay.
And we can even kind of talk through this, because where it's gonna get interesting is we're gonna look at Hall. We're gonna see him do the feint and cancel in motion. He's gonna fake like to the left, cancel that, and then come with a left hook. Here it is.
Here you go.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Back it up. This is crazy, man. And again, we just hype off the potential. Look at that.
And see, it's like he really has to draw back on the one, draw back on the other. It doesn't look like an arcade-like kind of movement.
And my man reacted to it.
Oh, yeah. Yup. How he brought the left arm up.
Oh, man. Guys.
See,
like Smitty said, we haven't seen this. We have not played. We haven't been able to do this yet.
Exactly.
I get it. But I'm saying off of the potential of what they're showing us, I am excited, because it's the same way me and Smitty looked at each other when we came out of that little demo for the Order 1886.
Oh,
we both was like, what? That was gameplay? I mean, Smitty remembers I was sitting there one time and the guy behind us was like, no, go ahead, move. And I thought it was a cutscene.
Yeah.
He was like, no, that's the game. I was like, our mind was blown, because we had never seen anything on that graphical level. Right. So it's the same with this. I'm just seeing the way the systems work, the movements. Even remember what he said about physics. You don't even have to press the blocking button.
Right.
The physics will actually allow you to block it depending on where your guard is. Yep. So if you have a certain stance, come on, man.
And there's going to be trade-offs to it. So I know people like they said it in here, because people will assume that you can only, bet everybody going to use the Philly shell, so that's it. It's like, no. There's going to be consequences and repercussions to it. And I don't know if they have it they have a clip of it here. Maybe it was in the other video, but if you saw Rocky, his forearm looked like it was bruised up a bit by taking them punches and everything like that. So it's big like time. there's going to be a consequence of some sort for taking as much damage in it. They just ain't talk about that yet, but there's going to be some trade-off to that.
Oh, you know what? Hold on, let me back this up, because at first I was going to just let it play while we were, but I do want to let their audio play so you guys can hear them explain it instead of me and Smitty, and then me and Smitty will break it down after they go to the next section. So we'll do it like that.
Hi, I'm Andy Turner. I'm the art director at SCI. Thought I'd just give you a quick overview of animation systems. So our movement system was really fast and fluid. We wanted to get away from the sort of standard sort of clip-based animation where you kind of like loop clips to put movement together. It just looks a bit robotic to me. So we've got a new system where it isn't done like that. It's much more performance-based. So that's really good, because when the professional boxers come in, they can just do what they do best. They know how to move. We're not telling them how to move. They do the movement based on what they would really do in a fight. We have our own motion capture studio, so that they can come in and we can just let them do their thing within certain constraints that we give them, so that we can capture the best parts of their movements, their trait.
Hold on, we got to go back with one. Hold on, guys. Let me look at something really quick. Wonder why this video is dragging like that. Let me try putting it on 720. It's weird. Sometimes YouTube be bug like this monitor can handle anything, but
of their movements, their traits.
Yeah, that's a little better.
And all their punches and blocks and move sets, they're all captured here.
Oh, my bad, y'all.
There's no traditional animation as such. It's all motion captured.
All right.
So the adrenaline
Let's
system
go back.
was introduced.
Let's go back. We're gonna put them on mute. Me and Smitty will just commentate over this. Do y'all see, like,
just give you a quick overview of
just so you can get a peek behind my eyes. Look at his hands and stuff too. Not even just the feet, but look at how
put it in slow motion. Put it in slow motion. So
that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. We can do that, can't we?
Put it in slow motion. Yep.
See, that's why two heads are better than one, guys.
You can put that 0.25 since we're talking about it. No, 0.25. That's gonna make it faster. Yeah, there you go. Yep, there it is. Yeah, there we go. Yep. So you can just
check out my man's hands. Look, like that stuff right there.
Mm-hmm.
That is crazy. Like it's all move. You know what was funny, Smitty? And we always do this. This is what we talk about in the trenches, folks.
Oh,
in Madden. This and the bottom need to be two different things.
Yeah. Yeah.
But whatever. We're not talking Madden now, but it makes me think of that. You can tell that they're moving in unison, but as a body, not meaning in unison like they're both doing this, but it's just all of the motion is fluid from arms to neck to the body. That's how a body is supposed to move.
Look at the punch right there. And look at how he stepped throwing the punch.
Oh my God.
See what I'm saying? It's all in line. The footwork. Hey, come into the studio. The key thing he said, come into the studio. Y'all know how to box. We're just gonna tell you the scenario. Film it. Go. And just do it.
Look at that.
Look at him. Oh, goodness gracious.
This is insane, man. Hold on, guys.
That's boxing right there, man.
What did I do with this? Why is it cutting off that top part? Did I have it in theater mode?
No, you had it in full screen.
Because at first it wasn't cutting off their head, right?
Yeah, that full screen. No, you got it now. It's there now.
Okay, good. There we go.
Yeah.
Man, let's just keep looking at this. Man. Look at his sway. Look at the sway. Look at the arms. Look at the arms, guys. Just listen. I'm sorry I'm so excited, but I'm a boxing head, man. Boxing and football. Look at that. That's that old Roy Jones peekaboo type. Look. Watch his arm. Now he like, I'm gonna toy with you a little bit. Boom, boom. The arms come down. This arm comes up. Anybody that know boxing, that's like you shadow boxing in the gym. Like Come on,
yeah.
man. Now watch him. Watch when he gonna do the stance switch. I think it's a little later, but look at the whole body, how
just
it's moving.
The whole movement. And the thing is, see, the cool thing about it is he's going to be he's going to move like this with an opponent across from him.
Yes, look at the rope.
Wild dudes is swinging. The rope physics, yep. Rope.
And we even forgetting the biggest part. This game looks the graphics.
Yeah, the graphics.
You know how people say, "Oh, graphics don't matter." They got both. It appears.
Yeah, this is the thing, though, Sim.
Look at this.
They got
here.
both. There it is.
Oh my goodness!
If you can switch, if you can literally via control can switch stances just like that.
Oh my gosh!
Mic drop.
And shout outs again to my man Fanatico that mentioned he thinks that there might be a mechanic that allows you to do that type of movement. Like now I'm on my bicycle, I'm gonna just run around the ring, or you can, maybe hit a modifier and then you back in your regular posture. And the reason why he feels that way is because he broke down that first video when they did the announcement, and he could see it was blurred out, but he could tell that the guy was doing something with like the bumper. So it's just speculation, but it's a good guess. He feels like he thinks there may be a modifier to where almost, again, the most common one that we're familiar with, like Madden, when quarterback is in the pocket and you press it this way and he goes into that's what he's saying. He thinks there's some type of modifier that allows you to do that movement right there versus you just being into your regular stance.
Mm-hmm.
And all right, so let's hear about this adrenaline system, folks.
All right, you got it. All right.
Yeah, this is it's crazy, man. That's all I can say.
All the volume.
Oh yeah,
just a stamina.
Additional animation as such, it's all motion captured.
My man Roughhouse in the building.
The system was introduced because we wanted something more than just a stamina bar depleting. We wanted there to be the element of really going after a fighter if you think they're in trouble or if you just want to get them out quickly. So what the adrenaline system does is once your heart rate reaches a certain BPM, your stamina will max out. But as you can see here, the downside to that is your maximum stamina reduces significantly. There's also a cooldown timer on this, so you have to really pace your fights. Otherwise, you could end up being gassed out after 3 or 4 rounds.
The action,
folks.
So the counterpunch system.
What that is? Let's go back and look at that in slow mo too. And Roughhouse, my man, Roughhouse boxing, man. He's a boxing head as well. Please chime in on what this game appears to be and how authentic some of the stuff that they're going for. We don't need to put this in slow-mo because you ain't really seeing much with the meter.
Right.
But basically what they're saying, it's like, I got my man hurt and I'm just going to go crazy. And you get a boost of adrenaline. See, look, you're going to see it in the next clip too. Maybe I'll slow that part down. As Adelaide was punching, his adrenaline is going up, but it can only go so far. If you don't get the guy out of there now, you should be gassed. So I love that they're trying to replicate that burst of energy when you see, he's hurt. All right, like right here. Let's slow this down a little bit. And again, I'll give credit where credit is due. I didn't even notice this part until Fanatico said it. That you can see the meter here with these guys. Pay attention to Adelaide.
Oh, he's already in it.
Right here. He's in it. His BPM right now, it's probably small on the screen, but it's at 151, 152, 150, boom. 151, 50, 58. Now it went back down at 122, went down to 130. Now it's back to 138.
So you can't come out playing slugfest. You see what I'm saying? That's the thing. Because after you do your thing, you'll gas yourself out. And now you're exposing yourself. You see what I'm saying? So they're taking away the arcade, like we went over last week's show, going through the article and everything. There's going to be a casual mode, but at the same time, these guys are going for authenticity of boxing in terms of like authentic replication of what happens in the sport. That's what they're going for. So, and that's what you want. Why bring in these guys and girls, do all this mocapping, get insight from all these trainers and stuff like that, to turn around and say, let's make it arcade because guys like Marshall Mind and others are used to playing Fight Night and UFC. No, like because the way those games run, this game has to run like it. No, I don't think so.
Baby.
Yeah. Nope. Authentic. You're going into uncharted territory. This is why this game is being hyped. It's not just because it's been 10 years. It's because these guys have something legit on the table. Like, you got the visuals. We don't have stick in hand, but you got gameplay. You have some good stuff here for people to dive into and really sink their teeth into here. That's unheard of, man. I'm sorry. This is good stuff. Alpha build. Looking like this? Come on, man.
Oh. I had never heard of this company. I had never heard of it. If you ask me, being as biased and naive as I am towards the Steelers, when I heard Steel City Interactive, I thought it was a Pittsburgh company. I was like, oh, and then I said, oh, this is but that's all I think about when I hear Steel City. And yes, what Dr. Funk said, it looks like as long as you land, you're good. And yes, I think that's what Fanatico was saying too, just kind of looking at that meter. And that, again, that's replicating a whiff, right? That takes a lot of energy when you swing. I mean, we watch boxing when dudes just go boom, haymakers, and missing. Floyd Mayweather used to make it happen to all a lot of people he fought.
Yeah.
Because he's doing that roll, and you like, yo, remember when he fought Canelo, even though it was too early? Floyd knew what he was doing. Canelo won't Canelo yet. But remember how frustrated he was because he was throwing them bombs, and Floyd was ducking them, taking a lot of energy out of you. But all right, let's continue, guys. Let's listen to the counterpunch system.
So the counterpunch system works really well with the movement, as well as the range of punches available, whether it's front foot, back foot, or to the side. System works really well with the movement,
that one,
as well as the range of punches available.
My goodness.
Whether it's front foot, back foot, or to the side.
Slow motion for me.
Being gassed out after.
Hold on. That one right there. Oh, I might have went too far. Hold on.
So you have to really pace your fights. Otherwise, you could end up being gassed out after 3 or 4 rounds.
Wow.
So
all right, here we go. Man, Smitty came through clutch and reminded me of the slow-mo feature. All right, let's take a look. Oh, look at that little subtle.
Look at that. Yeah, I ain't even peeped that before.
Oh,
just grazed the arm, dude.
Look at the player movement, man. Look, and the arm, look, barely touched him, like Smitty said, and it still responded to it.
Yeah. Off the back foot and through that jab.
Look where that jab landed. Like brushed through through the chin. Look, watch Hall's leg. Took a little step back, like, all right, he caught me. Let me regroup. Wow, man. But watch this counterpunch that Hall is about to throw. It's going to be a left to the body. Watch the natural movement. Look, the slip. He throws a little uppercut. And he's like, all right. Look, my man got rocked, so he backed up. Look at that. Oh my, bruh. This is he countered the jab. Look at that. He slips under it and punches at the same time, and it's fluid.
Yep, that's the key thing. He hit him, and my man David moved backwards in stride.
And look at the
from
retreat.
the hit. Yeah. Oh, snap. Okay.
And then again, look at Hall's feet after he lands the punch. Watch his legs and everything.
Okay.
Now,
so it's like he stepped and bounced back.
Man, let me tell you.
Okay, man.
There's reason to be excited about this. We've never seen anything like this.
Nope.
So
we've done away with mini games.
All right, let's go ahead and listen to this too, because then we probably can wrap up after this. So let me rewind this whole thing. What I'll do, guys, is let the entire rest of it play. It's only about 3 minutes. They'll talk about that. They'll talk about career mode, and then we'll just go all the way in.
So we've done away with mini games in ESBC. This corner scene is still very early in terms of what's going to be shown, but essentially the quality of your corner team will determine how much you recover. So we wanted fight stances to really make a difference in terms of what you decide to have for your fighter. As an example, the Philly shell will block certain body punches. So rather than...
Oh, I lied. We got to talk about this part before we let it roll. So let me start this back over. All right, here we go.
Have for your fighter. As an example, the Philly team will determine how much you recover. So we wanted fight stances to really make a difference in terms of what you decide to have for your fighter. As an example, the Philly shell will block certain body punches. So rather than you having to always press block to block a certain type
There's
of
a bruising on his arm there.
Stance
See it?
do some of that for you. Each stance will have a pro and a con to balance things out. We'll be releasing.
All right, let's go back, guys, and we'll put it in slow mo.
The Philly shell really make a difference.
And me and Smitty will just chop it up while it's in slow mo. Let me take the audio out, and then after that, we'll let the career mode stuff roll, and then we'll just give our final recap. But it's like Smitty said. Look at the bruising. Look at the way he's being bruised because he's being hit. Again, why do I always have to do this? Is because this is the stuff we want in the game, the football game. Why don't stuff like that happen with the physics where that determines injury? You know, quarterback keep getting hit. He got bruised ribs, or you know what I mean? This could all build into the wear and tear, man. But as far as this game,
right?
The fact that you can allow your stance to be your defense. Look, I ain't got to worry about remembering what button to press to block. This guy's a body puncher, and I come with the right stance, I'm probably going to catch some of these. But there's an effect for doing that. I'm going to be severely bruised. Look at that.
It could be your punch effectiveness with that arm could come into jeopardy. You know, stuff like that. Like there's some factors, or you won't be able to block as effectively because you're taking so much wear and tear on that arm because of the stance you're using.
It pins that arm back.
Look at that. I mean, that's wear and tear. And I mean, look at his forearm. Like you see it. Look at that. The bruising is there. See, that's like a punch slipped through on that one. See, so it's like it's not going to absorb everything.
Let's look at that miss. Frazier is kind of moving to the right, but I love.
But he didn't. But see, that looked like a natural. He's just moving.
Yep.
See, once again, they said with the commentary, these stances are going to have pluses and minuses. So there may be a natural sway, like how you saw with the footwork portion of the video. You see my man bobbing, weaving, moving side to side and all that. There's going to be a level of natural weave but you still are going to have to use your slips, your sways, and all that. You have to use them. It's not like you just say, oh, pick this style and I can just do whatever. No, you're still going to have to be mindful of what you're doing, but there's still going to be a level of natural, they just going to move and block or whatever, like how the Philly shell is. Same deal. You naturally got your arm there, but like how it looks, at least, my man's arm is getting worked.
Man, I just got to look at this counter one more time. This left hand, man. Wow. That's crazy. Boom. Look how he turns. Because there was people saying there's no turning, no pivoting in their punches. What? He turns his whole body into that punch. Man. But all right, man, let's let it play out here when they start talking about career mode. There we go, right about there. And then after that, we'll give our final thoughts. It looks like we'll have a little time for MLB. I don't know how much of it we're gonna get through, but we'll try.
Right.
We'll be releasing a career mode video in the future, but here are a few aspects that we can share in this video. So this is the promoter screen. This is where you'll sign with the promoter for a certain number of fights. The promoter aspect is important within the career mode because it will determine how fast you can climb the rankings table, how quickly you can get a world title shot, your popularity, and also when you're negotiating a fight. So the negotiation screen is impacted by your promoter, everything from the percentage split through to whether the fight is at home or away. Things like the training camp is in your control. That'll impact your finances. But we've also added a few gameplay elements, such as having injury insurance should you get injured or should the opponent get injured in the lead up to the fight. There's also a rematch clause, but whether you're ranked higher or lower than the fight that you're going for will determine the chances of success. So this is the opponent statistics screen. Once your fight negotiation has been successful, you can go and check out your opponent's stats. But what's available will be determined by how good your coach is. So if you have a high-ranked coach who has skills in the areas that are required, then you'll be able to see your opponent's strengths and weaknesses and his ratings.
That kind of sounds like if you send your scouts to the pro day or the combine. Never mind.
So you need to have strength. So this is the opponent statistics screen. Once your fight negotiation has been successful, you can go and check out your opponent's stats. But what's available will be determined by how good your coach is. So if you have a high-ranked coach who has skills in the areas that are required, then you'll be able to see your opponent's strengths and weaknesses and his ratings. So you need to have a good coach to be able to see your opponent's statistics. So we hope you've enjoyed this video. We hope it's given you more of an insight into how ESBC plays. As I said at the start, everything you've seen is in alpha. We know there's some funky things happening in the game right now. We've got to work on environments, crowd, the character models, the punches, the movement, everything. So nothing's final, but hopefully it's given you a good indication with regards to the direction we're heading. Thank you for watching, and keep an eye out on our social media channels for the launch of the next ESBC fighter announcement show.
He thanking us for watching. Thank you for bringing it to us.
Right.
That man's, see, he even said, look, we're not final. Guys, how could you not? That's why I say I don't understand gamers sometimes. And I know our opinions. We all have our own opinions I get it. But some of the slander that I'm seeing come this way, at this game, I'm like, dude, how could you not at least be excited off of the potential? Come on. I mean, it's not to say that you can't play Fight Night or whatever, but if you really into boxing, and maybe everybody is not an authentic simulation type of game, I get it. Maybe that's why Fight Night had more appeal, because it was fun, with those the haymakers and all of that. But this is for the simulation gamer. So don't try to kill this game. Don't do that. Just go play in your arena. But man, the dude said that your trainer or coach, his skills will determine how much of your opponent you will be able to learn. Your promoter will determine how soon or how not soon, I guess, you will get title fights, or how many title fights. All of that stuff is going to come into play. What do you always hear boxing, boxers say? Like, a lot of us say, man, why don't I like the dudes who fight the best guys? And we all would love to see that, but we know it's a business. So how many times after you watch a fight, guys say, well, I got to talk to my team, and we'll see if we can make that. They trying to deliver this.
Yeah.
Can the promoter get me that fight, that title fight? Can he get me to Terrence Crawford or whatever? Or do I got to go through some of these other guys first? And maybe another promoter can get me there. Mm-hmm. That kind of stuff, that adds a level of immersion right there on its own. So
injury insurance, dog.
Wow.
Injury insurance for real. So you can get messed up while you training and everything too, man. And we don't even know how the training system is going to be in this game. See, Once again, early access. There's only so much that's going to be in the build we play. I don't think it's going to be the complete game, even though it's a few months away. Still, because they still are a small company, but they're making AAA moves. But this is a small company that's making this game, y'all. So don't forget that. Don't think because, it's better than Fight Night and it's looking like they're not EA. You see what I'm saying? They don't have that kind of backing. You know what? They must have one of the meanest networking pipelines in the world, because you know what I'm saying, you're talking to all the right people in professional boxing to get, all these name folks in here, all these boxers, current boxers, former champions, female boxers. More is going to be we don't know how many more boxers they're going to unveil, but they definitely are going to be unveiling female boxers on Saturday. So with the next showcase video they do. But it's amazing, dude. These guys, nothing short of that. That's how you come out.
That's how you come out, man.
That's literally how you come out, man. Yeah, and you're right. It's not about Fight Night. That's what really grinds my gears, is that folk trying so hard to make it Fight Night. See, this is what I don't want to see happen. I don't want to see these guys cave into the user base that'll scream and holler, he needs to punch like this, and the punch speed ain't right, and this ain't right, and that ain't right. What's your source material? Fight Night champion. No. I don't want to see people, because that's the same stuff that happened with NBA 2K falling off the rails. Madden, outside of the devs not being able to do their jobs, that game went off the rails. And it's because you try so hard to please people, you'll completely dilute the quality of the sport itself to try and please everybody. And then what ends up happening, you'll end up having a shamble of a game, and we'll be sitting up here saying, remember when we saw the video and we saw the builds and how good the game looked and how it looked like this, that, and the third, and then it's going to be ruined. because the wrong people got in their ear and whined and hollered, oh, but it ain't. No.
Yeah.
No, this is not UFC. This is not Fight Night. I don't want to see people, those people especially, trying to make this game Fight Night, because that's exactly what they're going to try and do, especially if they face any kind of hardship, which I already know they're going to face. They automatically, man, it ain't, but no. That's what I love about. That's why I'm so glad that it does come out on PC first, because they're not paying Microsoft and Sony for a title update. They could go in and straight, all right, based off the feedback, this is what we changing. But this is why I also appreciate guys like Boxing Fanatico. And I'm starting to see some of these boxing commentators coming out of the woodworks. You know,
yeah, man, this joint look crazy.
So this is why I want to see these. Those are the people I want to see as the spokespeople for this game. I don't want to see somebody that, oh, because I play UFC and I got 100K subs, whatever, I know what I'm talking about. No, you don't. No, you don't. You dogged the game out when you didn't even know what was going on in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And you dogged the game out. But then now you're like, oh, well, yeah, it looks better now. No, the same stuff you were complaining about was happening in this video. You just didn't know what you were talking about. That's it. You got educated by somebody who knows exactly what they're talking about. And I appreciate that, because that's how you grow communities. It's not about kicking folk out and throwing and flipping them the bird. It's like, you got to take this education, though. You know what I'm saying? You know you're wrong, right? Like, you got 40, 50,000 people watching your videos, co-signing with you, and saying, and they're all like, yeah, you know what? You're right. That stuff in Fight Night, how come they ain't doing it over there? And see, those are the people that will mess around and beating, slammed on this game for all the wrong reasons. So I want to see the boxing crowd really stand up and really be like, yo.
Yeah, man.
Feedback wise, boom, 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 boom. I ain't listen. Don't entertain that foolery. If they got a problem, play casual mode. That's why y'all made it. That's y'all play that. Stay over there. You know what I'm saying? You worried about MMA and all that other stuff, or whoever else it is, not just Martial Mind, but other people. If y'all of that same ilk, y'all going all over there. You know what I'm saying? I don't see Martial Mind doing interviews with boxers. I see him doing interviews with Brazilian jiu-jitsu artists and karate guys and all that stuff. Do that. That's your lane. But don't come over here trying to water down boxing, because, yeah, MMA fighters and martial artists throw fists too, but that's not boxing, though.
Ain't that sweet science?
It's not the right. It's not the. You ain't seeing Floyd Mayweather putting somebody in a triangle choke and all that stuff. That ain't happening here. Okay, this is boxing. So it's like, learn from it. I'm all about getting schooled on it. I don't know a lot of these cats. I know some of these dudes, but I don't know a whole lot of these cats. When I first saw the initial roster, I'm like, oh, these cats they're putting all these the latest, like the latest recent people are in here. Oh, I like that, because that's what I wanted to see EA do. I was cool with the Knockout Kings, but it was like they were always bringing up, it was nothing but legends and maybe one or two or three current fighters. So it's great to see, yeah, they got the legends, but at the same time, you also got these current people. So, I'm excited for the game, man.
I can't wait to see who else they bringing, man.
Yeah.
Because we don't even know. And yeah, William said, all due respect to Martial Mind, but Fanatico put him in his place, laugh out loud. And you know what's cool about that? Because I don't never talk to Martial Mind or anything like that. So I have nothing ill to say about him. But it's funny that you see how respectfully Fanatico did his thing. Even at the end of the video, he was like, look, all love and shout outs to Martial. That's how you're supposed to give your difference of opinion. it's just funny that when people used to oppose us about other stuff, it's always slander. That's how grown people are supposed to do it. I just got to say that because people still, I hear they still be outlandishly saying stuff about me or Smitty, and I'm like, grow up, man. You got a difference of opinion. It is what it is, but that's how you do it. Fanatico basically is like, look, this ain't got nothing to do with you, my man. Like, I love and respect what you do, but let me break this down from a boxing standpoint and still get a due respect. That's what it's all about. We all just people. Like, there's no reason why we should ever beef with nobody, and it's so silly, man. It is very strange that people still feel that negatively towards us over Matt. It's weird, but just thought I'd say that. But anyway, guys, and shout outs to SGO. They put out a video. I didn't watch it tonight yet, but they were saying something about DLC and new fighters. So I want to see what they're referring to there, because I know SGO has been close to Esports Boxing Club as well. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to it. So, guys, we're going to try. I mean, we're probably not going to get through a lot of this, but we're going to try to get through some of this MLB The Show stuff. So let me share that screen. And like I said, we're not baseball guys. At least, I won't speak for Smitty, but I'll say for me, I'm not a baseball head in terms of me being able to look at their franchise and say what's missing. I will say over the years, I've heard some people say the franchise is phenomenal. I enjoy it. Then I heard other people say, well, no, it's missing this, it's missing that, it's missing that. So I'm not going to sit here tonight and pretend that what they displayed was great or it wasn't. We're just going to give our opinion on whatever they reference from what we get through here tonight. And I will say this. Shout outs to Lex Marston, man. I was talking to him on Twitter. He said that they mentioned, well, he did say, at least it sounds this way to him, that MLB may have made some mention of morale no longer affecting attributes. That is true. I don't like that.
Yeah, that
I don't like that MLB The Show. That why would you do that? Why would you go away from it affecting? But we'll see. So let's see how much of this we can get through, guys. I probably won't pause as much because, again, me or Smitty have seen this. So let's see if we can get it to work out.
3 down and 3 to go for our feature premieres.
Everybody is seeing it, right?
Pitching and hitting. You've learned all about the fielding overhaul.
Should be.
Found out how you can customize.
And make sure y'all confirm that you can hear it. Let me start it over a little bit because I was talking. Oh, hold on. It's turned down.
The world on
there we go.
PlayStation, and welcome our newest Xbox fans. Thanks for tuning in. 3 down and 3 to go for our feature premieres. You've seen pitching and hitting. You've learned all about the fielding overhaul. You found out how you can customize your ball player. Today, we're diving deep into franchise mode and March to October. Then we have Next Gen and Diamond Dynasty. You can watch every Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live. I'm joined by Kyle Blake, who never let us forget that he won a developer tournament in 2019. I'm serious. He wore that belt around for like a year. And Clayton Reed. Clayton, you're looking sharp, but nobody can see you, right? I see you got a haircut.
Yeah, nice to virtually talk to you guys. Took a couple inches off the COVID flow, trimmed up the beard, was all excited to show my ugly mug, and now it's not going to make it into the video. A little disappointed.
Mr. Kyle Blake, give our fans a little bit of background about yourself.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Kyle Blake. I'm a technical game designer here, and I work a lot on franchise and Diamond Dynasty. And Ramon, it wasn't every single meeting. Only most.
Most is in like 98%.
Maybe.
All right, let's get into it. This is a very important year because franchise takes an important step forward this year. Kyle, can you talk about how things are changing in big ways at the core of franchise mode for MLB The Show 21?
Yeah, first, let's just talk a little about franchise and kind of what it is. It's all about putting you in that GM seat and giving you full control over an entire MLB franchise. It's up to you to build that star-studded roster, play games, and win World Series. You get to build your squad through trades, free agency, scouting, and drafting. You just have a ton of tools at your fingertips to really become that GM you've always wanted to be. The other cool thing is everything is very customizable. If you just want to play games and let the AI take control over the rest, that's great.
just right there alone, for those who are not familiar with, me and Smitty's background, y'all know we're the football guys, yada, yada, yada. We know franchise mode is not deep in Madden, fix Madden franchise, hashtag, all of that. Just that one thing right there that says contract extensions makes it better than Madden's franchise mode. So that's all. Let's continue.
Or on the flip side, if you want to really dive into every single move your team makes, maybe play a little less, it's perfect. It's completely customizable and up to you how you want to play franchise.
All right. So let's get right into it. Clayton, really give us this explanation of the vision, effort, and oversight on what's really happening with franchise mode.
I definitely can, but let me start with a little insight into our thinking. We have a clear vision for where we want to go with franchise in March to October, and to get there, we needed to revamp the core of these modes. This meant we needed to drastically improve how we evaluated players. As you can imagine, revamping the core of entire modes is a monumental task. We spent a lot of effort in this area. We ran numerous 30-year simulations, collecting and crunching the data of thousands of players.
Let's pause that and go back for a second. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but it sounds like he said they're trying to revamp the core. If that is the case, I'm not throwing them a bone here, but it sounds like they kind of decided to just go back and retune the fundamental aspects that are already there. And if that is the case, then yeah, it's probably not going to be a lot added. Not saying that's a good or bad thing, but it sounds like that's what he's saying. But let's continue.
This meant we needed to drastically improve how we evaluated players. As you can imagine, revamping the core of entire modes is a monumental task. We spent a lot of effort in this area. We ran numerous 30-year simulations, collecting and crunching the data of thousands of players across both the majors and the minors, and we're pretty pumped with what's come out of this endeavor.
Clayton, this sounds amazing. So tell us, what's new when it comes to evaluating players in MLB The Show 21's franchise mode?
So we took this mountain of data that I just talked about, and we created some impressive new systems. For the first time in this show, we can project how a player's skills will progress into the future across the length of the current contract, across the length of the contract that's being offered, across team control years. No matter the length of time, we can project how players' skills will improve or diminish. Another major addition to the revamped player evaluation logic is our new WAR-based performance tracking system.
Okay, hold on. What's WAR? Explain what WAR is for the people at home.
WAR is wins above replacement. It measures a player's value in all facets of the game. It then compares that value to a replacement level player who plays that same position. We can now look at a player's output and again, for the first time in the show, compare it to how he should be performing based on his rank. Consistently overperforming or underperforming influences your progression. So naturally, it should influence your player value as well. The last new piece.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, let's go back and listen to that, Smitty, and then we can chop that little piece up.
Okay.
Let's hear that again.
WAR-based performance tracking system.
Okay, hold on.
Project how player skills will improve or diminish. Another major addition to the revamped player evaluation logic is our new WAR-based performance tracking system.
Okay, hold on. What's WAR? Explain what WAR is for the people at home.
WAR is wins above replacement. It measures a player's value in all facets of the game. It then compares that value to a replacement level player who plays that same position. We can now look at a player's output and again, for the first time in the show, compare it to how he should be performing based on his rank. Consistently overperforming or underperforming influences your progression. So naturally, it should influence your player value as well. The last new piece.
How you feel about that, Smitty?
That's huge. See, you know what makes me think about that? Just like how I was talking to you before the show started about the Tigers. You know, looking at a team especially a team like that's in rebuild mode, that WAR, along with what he was talking about before, their logic in terms of evaluating players, their performance over the course of their contract, as well, like to see how they're projected, along with this WAR system here, playing through the game and everything. That's going to be a bomb system. Like when you think about now, will this also apply to? Well, yeah, it'll apply to free agent targets potentially. AAA, your minor league club players. If you have guys that are performing better than they should be, or playing just along the line or above or below, if you want to manage your team and be very hands-on, you can factor that in. Like, that's something that'll be a big time factor. So I love that. See, I'll just say this real quick. This is the kind of stuff that you can do. Like you said, Sim, it may not be the big OMG, look what they did, but at the same time, this also is a big thing. It may not look like it necessarily, but in terms of a franchise management thing, like, this is I wouldn't say not the exact same level, but if you want to be just a managerial kind of thing, like you want to play it like out of the park baseball style, don't play the games and just be the GM, this kind of stuff is huge. Like,
yeah,
I like it.
And I don't want to read too far into it because they didn't say this, but it makes me feel like that I can literally outperform my ratings. Like me, if I'm controlling these players.
Mm-hmm.
So when I hear that, I hear no governed gameplay. Just because my rating is this, but I'm the one controlling the sticks, and maybe I'm batting a little better or I'm pitching a little better, then my actual performance produces my progression. I love that. I love that in any sports game. That's got to have that. I need more of that. Even again, we always going to reference Madden because we're football people. This is like dynamic player performance. I need that kind of stuff back in the game. And y'all had it. And I don't understand why you you went away from it, and then you slowly but surely took the hot and cold streaks off the screen. I don't understand that. But, all right, let's see what else we can learn, guys.
Influences your progression. So naturally, it should influence your player value as well. The last new piece that came out of all this research is our ability to determine whether a player is overproducing or underproducing in relation to his contract's average annual value. We've never been able to do this before, let alone do it intelligently. And we felt it was imperative for both realism and accuracy that a player's salary be a major factor in his value. When you combine those three components, our new ability to project skill progression into the future, our new system for comparing players' performance to his expectation, and our new ability to look at a player's production compared to his salary, what all that gives us is our brand new system for determining a player's trade value, the trade metric. And we believe the community is going to love that intelligence behind and the improvements to trades across franchise and March to October.
Okay, so trades are smarter and better, but what is this new player?
Before we get into that player metric, just a quick comment. I love that too. Because, and I don't know if this is the case currently in Madden, but I love that teams will look at your contract and come on, that's the real world, right? You say, wait, this guy's making X amount of million per year, but he's underperforming. Nah, we're gonna reject that trade. So they look at that as well as they looking at your potential and how you've been performing. I love that because I've always wondered when I've attempted to do a trade in Madden or whatever, or 2K, is the team considering the salary, not only just performance-based, but will they also consider it from a cap standpoint? Now, I know baseball is a little different when it comes to that, but I love that, man. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see what player metric is all about. I love that intelligence behind and the improvements to trades across franchise and March to October.
Okay, so trades are smarter and better, but what is this new player metric that you've been telling me about?
Player metric. The first two components of our trade metric, our ability to project skill progression in the future and our new system for comparing a player's performance to his expectation. Those two combined give us another new system that determines a player's value, not his trade value, but his player value, and we call it the player metric.
This sounds amazing. How are we using this new player metric?
So once we had built both the player metric and the trade metric, we actually put them in the game and ran them side by side with the old player and trade value systems. We did this to compare the old and the new and see if we liked what we saw out of the new system. It turns out we actually loved what we saw. that led to the added bonus of us incorporating the player metric into 3 additional logic systems. The first one is the contract logic system, where we felt that our ability to project the skills, progression, and our system for comparing a player's performance to his expectation, we felt that led to more realistic and accurate contract values. The second one, the call-up send-on logic, where we use the new war-based performance tracking system. That's going to help us better determine promotions and demotions.
Yep.
Finally, it was incorporated into the depth chart, with the depth chart integrating our new ability to project skill progressions in a very cool way, and something that Kyle's going to touch on shortly.
Okay. So let's recap here, Clayton. Player metric. This is an important part of the logic of franchise mode. This is all new, and it's used in a ton of places that matter, right?
That's right. So why this is all really important stuff and why I've taken all this time to explain it is because the trade metric and player metric not only make MLB The Show 21 that much better, but it also sets the foundation for everything we want to accomplish moving forward in franchise in March, October.
All right. So
Foundation.
thanks for that
See?
explanation, Clayton. We're going to talk to you in a
Yeah, what you got, Smitty?
No, I was just gonna say, see, all of that stuff being built in, that keyword there, the foundation. They switched the system up. They're improving everything at the ground core level, which that stuff is beautiful. Just like he said about the war, when it comes to call-ups, which I was hoping that would be impacting on, and it does. You got contracts. Contracts were a thing that people had. That was a community issue back then. Now they got the real contracts. That was and see, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about, Sim. MLB The Show has had so much stuff done in their franchise mode. It's like they're looking at more subtleties.
Yeah.
To get right. Like they didn't have the real contracts in their game before. Now that was like something like a few years ago, I think. And now they do have those contracts in the game now. So it's like, okay, now we tune the logic. So that way, when it comes to you approaching a player in free agency, the contract is going to be more logically suited. I'm like, oh, wow. So like that's what's up, along with the war and this being the foundation. That's the kind of stuff like what they had last week with the Road to the Show stuff. You're doing things that are going to keep people immersed in your product season to season to season. Because remember, guys, they didn't say, hey, we got rid of quick counts. Hey, we got rid of all that stuff that was already there before is still there.
Still there.
You could play games real quick if you play all the games. Like Sim brought up Lex Marsden. He plays all the games.
And I don't even think he used quick count.
Yeah, no, there's no. He plays all the games. So, like, when you really give a care about the game and you play and you enjoy it like that, like it gives you that much. This kind of stuff right here is going to have you glued in. You're locked in. You may not even touch March or October, but you will play franchise.
Yeah. Because
of the stuff they're giving you, like the stuff they're giving you here sounds legit. That's all I got, man. I mean, it's beautiful, man.
And please correct us. Like I put in the chat, anybody who's a hardcore baseball guy, franchise guy, let me know the things that are missing. Because I don't think I would be able to identify him from a baseball standpoint. But let's see what else they got here.
In a minute, Kyle, let's talk about depth charts. They've changed quite a bit. Give us a little explanation on the updates and how this new depth chart really changes the franchise mode experience.
Absolutely. Of course, the most important part of every major league club are the players you put on the field. Because of that, we've added a brand new way to look at your roster in MLB The Show 21. So Clayton talked a lot about the systems underlying franchise mode, and that's one piece of the core. The other piece of that core is how you interact with the game. And this is more the visual side. So we present the depth chart. It's really just the GM's dream. It's a one-stop shop for all the information you could pretty much ever need for your ball club. But the key, as you see it here, it's not just a table. It's not just a spreadsheet. It's not just a bunch of information thrown at you. It's a very visual, easy to understand way to help you build your ball club.
All right, Kyle, depth charts are a changing. Let's take a look at the raised depth chart on the screen. Kyle, what are we looking at?
Yes, we're looking at the Tampa Bay Rays here. At first glance, you're going to notice these starters at every single position.
What's
The
up with
more
the
you look, the
years?
more information you're going to see. The
Yeah.
little number next to them is their player overall, just kind of a rating of how well that player will perform. And there are also these little icons scattered around the screen. The blue one with a sheet of paper on it, that means that player is in a contract year. And they'll have last year on your team.
Okay.
You must re-sign him. There's
I
also
like that.
the red icon with the white arrow. That means that player's a top prospect. Those you normally see on your depth guys, so you get that full picture of that position. But of course, we're not just talking about the present here. That's only one key component of building an MLB roster. The future is the second piece. So as you can tab through and easily see the next upcoming seasons, you can see that the players are changing and their projections are changing.
Hold up. So I can easily skim to year 2023 and say who's going to be in a contract year. I can see that right here in depth charts. I ain't got to go looking at. Okay. Might sound small. I get it. But guys, stuff like this.
This is the stuff.
Accessibility too, man. When you are a franchise gamer, accessibility is very important also. So might not sound like much, but again, I appreciate this. Well, let's see what else they got to say here.
This is the logic that Clayton was talking about a little bit earlier. So we take a look at Wander Franco, of course. You might have heard of him. I don't know. Ronnie, you heard of Wander Franco?
Yeah. He, I've heard about this guy. He's like the #1 prospect or something like that, right?
Yeah, he's an absolute dude. So, of course, if you're the GM of the Rays, you want to know when Wander Franco is going to come up to your ball club. So you can see as you tab through these seasons, you can see where Wander Franco is projected.
They're projecting.
So you can get a more accurate
Oh, jeez.
Smitty. Now, what did we learn? What did we learn, class? Were you guys paying attention? Now, what do you think could influence that projection? Anyone? War.
Yep.
All right, let's keep listening.
Of your roster in the future.
This is great. So, Kyle, we're taking a look at the new depth chart. Can you tell us?
Oh wow, hold on. Look at that. Look how far he went.
#1
Go back.
prospect or something like that, right?
Yeah, he's an absolute dude. So, of course, if you're the GM of the Rays, you want to know when Wander Franco is going to come up to your ball club. So you can see as you tab through these seasons, you can see where Wander Franco is projected to be in those years. And so you can get a more accurate picture of your roster in the future.
This is great. So, Kyle, we're taking a
He's
look
now
at
a
the
90.
new depth chart. Can you tell us what we can actually do in the depth chart now? Like, what type of interactivity does it have?
Of course, it's not just a view. The other piece is actually being able to make roster moves. So if you're in the right parts of the season, when we allow contract extensions, you can press X really easily and just extend that guy who's in his contract year. Also, if you notice, maybe you have a surplus in a position, you can look at trades very quickly, very easily for those guys. Or maybe you just got that one missing piece and you can go and quickly and easily see the free agents at a position. It's not just a view. It's a really easy way to build your roster.
Wow.
So, Kyle, how is this going to help with me building my team?
When you're building your squad, tons of questions come up. Like I said with Wander Franco, when is that top prospect going to reach the majors? Or if I'm trying to build that World Series contender, when is my window of contention going to open? Or on the flip side, if you're already feeling like you're a dynasty or winning all these World Series, when might that window of contention kind of close? Even in the bottom left corner, we show budget. So you can see, hey, am I going to have a lot of money, or budget might be a little tight in those years?
Oh, right. So does this info ever change?
Absolutely. So every single day, every single roster move you make, everything is changing. There's a lot of really powerful custom logic that power the current and the future years. The current year is powered mostly by the decisions you've made. So how you set your lineup, how you set your rotation, and combine that with that custom logic, you'll see that's really what makes this up. The other really interesting piece is these projections, they are just projections. So they're not 100% accurate, but the projections will change based on how a player performs. So if he's lighting it up in the minors, you're going to see him projected to make that major league roster earlier than a guy who's not performing as well.
All of the changes we've talked about so far, they're both in.
I'm going to cut in for 2 seconds. You hear Smitty and I always say we are franchise guys. We're gameplay guys first, but they marry each other, right? What do we always say? We want to see features that are added being represented in gameplay. This right here is a perfect example of that.
Perfect.
War and this and projections and all of that with a depth chart feature that allows you to see the projections, but the gameplay feature goes hand in hand with it. So all you can ask for. Let's continue.
In franchise mode and March to October. Is that correct?
That's right. So we designed this depth chart specifically for franchise mode, but honestly, we loved it. So we figured let's slide it into MTO as well. The one key thing there is you can't make roster moves from the depth chart in March to October because it's a very curated mode. The roster moves are really episodic and it's really exciting. So it doesn't quite make sense there, but you still have that really awesome view of the present and the future.
All right. Thank you for that explanation. So we're talking about franchise mode in March to October today. We've already talked about overhaul player and trade value. We've already run over the organizational depth chart and how it changes franchise mode. Now let's get into budget systems. Clayton, tell me how the budget system has been overhauled for MLB The Show 21.
The budget system. All right, I'll say this, fans. We listen to your feedback, and I'll admit that even I got confused at times when trying to figure out what I could or could not afford during my franchise campaigns.
You talking about you were confused. I think all of us were confused. So we're happy to hear about these changes.
Yeah, it was about time we did something about it. So gone is the weekly display of budget figures, and in its place is a new yearly system that has the intelligence to project out your budget based upon monetary transactions that have already taken place, so money you've already earned or spent, and also based on the current rate of revenue and expenditure. This was not a small task, as this information is displayed in a multitude of screens, but the improved yearly display makes it much easier to comprehend, which is always a bonus for us digital general managers. Additionally, we made some improvements to the budget logic with regards to postseason. You now have the ability to earn greater revenue over your playoff run. And the added bonus to this is that it better aligns with what happens in the real world.
This all sounds absolutely amazing. Thank you for the explanation, Clayton. Really appreciate it. So let's talk about Stadium Creator integration.
We'll actually end it after they talk about this, because I gotta be done roughly around 10, so yeah, we probably won't finish the whole thing. We're at 31 minutes out of 44, so whatever we don't get to, if there's anything after this, we'll come back and get to it next week. But after this, I want me and Smitty to at least give our final thoughts on it. So let's hear what they have to say about Stadium Creator integration into franchise mode.
So Stadium Creator is a new next-gen feature. Can I build my own stadium and relocate it in franchise mode, Kyle?
Absolutely. I know, just like many of our fans, I am so excited for Creative Stadium. It's easily one of the most impactful features we've ever had in MLB The Show. And it wouldn't really be complete without being able to use it in franchise mode. It's also really easy. So you just go to franchise, go up at that top right and click the stadium assignments menu, and you'll see that you can set the stadium for every single major league and minor league club. It's really just as easy as scrolling through, selecting a team, and picking that new stadium.
Every stadium.
That's right.
Every single one.
That's right. Every single one. It's also super flexible too. Maybe you do want to enter that alternate reality and customize every single major league stadium, or maybe you just want to take a little easier and customize just your home team stadium. And add on top of that, you can change your uniforms and relocate or change your team name. It's really powerful. But there is one little catch.
What's the catch? What's the catch, Kyle?
We support 30 save slots for created stadiums. So that means you can have up to 30 stadiums saved and changed in this menu.
All right. So we have already talked about a lot. Overhaul player and trade value in franchise mode. The new organizational depth chart in franchise mode. The new budget system in franchise mode. Stadium Creator integration into franchise mode as well. Now let's talk about March to October. Clayton.
Good place to end it. We can address that the next go round.
Yeah.
So unshare it here. Again, guys, I know Kiez played it. He said he played 162 games before and almost died. I need somebody to tell me what's missing, because I admittedly, I'm not the baseball guy, so I don't know what's missing, what you've been asking for years, and what things are not working. But I could say I'll admit it, I'm a casual MLB The Show player because I don't know the ins and outs. It looks like I like the stuff that they've added. Now, it doesn't seem like ginormous features as far as so much depth, but I feel like the game already has a lot of the depth that I would look for. You know, it obviously you have your contract stuff and you have the scouting and you have the alternative leagues, meaning like the minor leagues. And I mean, I'm not sure from a baseball standpoint what else is missing. You have your training aspect, you know, so adding all this stuff on top of it sounds great to me. And, you know, for the people who want to have a little fun, I think Stadium Creator is cool. You know, I know a lot of people always want to have that even in a game like Madden. They want to be able to create a team, create a stadium. It just adds that level of depth. So I think even adding a feature like that is a win for them, especially now when they're going with the whole crossplay. That in itself is huge. They're going to Xbox. So I like what I see here, man. I think, you know, it sounds like pretty good stuff to me. And again, like I said, it's hard for me to kind of criticize it because I don't know what's missing. I wish someone in the chat could give us that info, but that's what I got, man. I love the stuff that we talked about. And you just throw Stadium Creator on top of that. So those are my thoughts.
Yeah, man. I mean, Sim basically knocked out the park with it because, I mean, I used to, like, when I was younger, I was all into baseball. But I'm not as into it now. So it's like, for me being more of a casual fan with it, I can definitely go but so far with it. And then I can learn. The cool part about it is I can hybrid play it.
Right.
Because I can say, you know what? I'm going to be a GM a bit more. I'm going to learn about the team. I mean, I'm going to learn about who this guy is, what these people do. Then I can take full control and be like, oh, I know who these guys are now. And I know about this guy and I know about that and everything. And it's like you get more interlaced with your team. You can go ahead and get more hands-on with it. You know, take more of a novice approach toward it. I love that fact. You know, that you can do that and you have the options to do it because they give you the depth. And like, let's say you want to fall back and see how the war system and everything works from more of a somewhat hands-off approach before you really get into it. That's cool too. So yeah, I love this. You know, everything they have in there, it seems like they're not doing a whole lot, but technically they are doing a whole lot. And it's like, it's some real good stuff that they did. So I for one, am definitely proud of it. You know, like Sim said, you know, we could touch on the end of everything next week, but yeah, it's definitely a solid franchise game. And plus, like what Sim said, he's not the super duper ultra immersive, you know, Pittsburgh Pirates fan. But at the same time, though, he can play the game and learn about his team through playing. You know what I mean? And then develop into being more of a fan and know a bit more about them. So that's the beautiful thing about this game. When you give a game that gives that replicated depth, like what MLB The Show has done, like what we're hoping to see with ESBC. So that's it. But that's all I got, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'll be playing it. I'll be streaming it. And like Smitty said, it has taught me a lot about those type of aspects of baseball. I mean, I know the general stuff. I even played a little baseball, but not on a significantly high level, you know, and MLB The Show has helped me get back into those type of things. So I'm going to enjoy it. You guys know I was a part of the little, you know, test beta thing. I like the way the game feels. And I'm looking forward to hearing what they have to say about the in-depth, you know, deep dive into next gen. I wonder what they're going to talk about. Is it a graphics thing or what have you? But that's all we got. Hopefully we did it some justice, kind of trying to break down the things that we liked from a fundamental standpoint, meaning what it sounds like it's doing, not necessarily comparing it to our baseball knowledge, if that makes sense. So there you go. But like I said, guys, I got to run, man. I told the wife that I'd be done at 10. Y'all know how it is when the lady be like, she hit me with this, right? You doing a 2-hour show tonight? I know what that means. She's off tomorrow. I'm not. My son is off tomorrow, and I'm not. But she probably just wants to hang out a little bit tonight. So I need to go ahead and wrap this thing up. But anyway, guys, hope everyone enjoyed the show, man. I hope you guys, for you guys who've been here the whole time, I hope you really enjoyed the first half. But that's really what we wanted to talk about. Esports Boxing Club. Make sure you get behind it, man. Support it if you are an authentic boxing fan or not. If you want to learn a little more about the sweet science of the sport, and not even just that, if you are I'm actually going to make an independent video about this, but if you are a simulation gamer, you should be excited by what ESBC is attempting to do. It has a lot of ramifications, and I will probably explain that in an independent video, but that's all I got. Anything else, Smitty?
No, that's it, man. Thanks everybody for coming through and hanging out with us. Support that ESBC, no doubt. And yeah, looking forward to what comes next. Tune in Saturday. See what those when they drop that next video.
Yeah.
Check that joint out because they're going to be featuring women boxers on there. So who knows who else they may showcase. They may drop another 25, 30 fighters. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see.
But all right, good people. Have a good evening. Have a good night. Stay well. Stay safe. Be blessed. And we'll catch you guys next time. Have a good weekend.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.